Good evening to everybody. Here is Earth Measured speaking. I would like to speak to you about the aether in this new video. Because if we believe, and we are arrived to believe that the Earth is flat and is motionless, if we believe this, we have to believe that the aether exists. This is a consequence of the Michelson-Morley experiment. They tried to check if the aether does exist or not. They measured the speed of the aether in one direction and in another direction according to the rotation direction of the Earth, and they said that there is no aether wind over the Earth. So together with Einstein, they arrived to the conclusion that the aether doesn't exist. But only because they didn't arrive to understand that another solution was and is that the Earth is motionless. If we arrive to accept this, we have to reintroduce the aether. And we know that the Earth is motionless. In fact, if you check my precedent videos, you will see that the Coriolis acceleration and all what is implied by this phenomenon is a clear evidence of the fact that the Earth is motionless. So, being the Earth motionless, we have to reintroduce the idea of aether. But also Einstein, after eliminated the aether, he was forced to reintroduce it by using another name, space-time, because he was having many problems with gravity without the aether. So he had to reintroduce it, but he didn't call it aether because he knew very well that if he reintroduced the aether, he shall admit the fact that the Earth is motionless. So he called it space-time. The aether is formed by many particles called aetherons. I'm not the single one saying this. For example, if you try to study a little books written by Paul Laviolette or by Tesla or by Lord Kelvin, they were admitting the fact that the aether exists and that is formed by particles called aetherons. Science currently says that the light has a double nature, particle nature and wave nature, because there are many phenomena in which light behaves like a wave and other phenomena in which behaves like a particle. For example, if we consider the reflection, the refraction, the interference, in these phenomena the light behaves like a wave, but in the photoelectric effect, the Compton effect, the couple production, Dirac couple production, this means the production of electron and positron, these are particle phenomena. But we have to understand that the electromagnetic wave is not made by particles, has not a double nature, but is a wave moving in a particle mean. And this mean, the aether, has mechanical, elastical characteristics that are needed to have this back and forth motion. In a complete empty space without aether, how do you justify this motion back and forth? This is due to the elastic and inertia mechanical properties of the aether. Let's think, for example, to a mass that is linked to a spring. If you pull the mass, it will begin to oscillate. But this is due to the presence of the elasticity of the spring and the presence of the inertia of the mass. So the mean of in which an electromagnetic wave moves has to have these two mechanical characteristics, elasticity and inertia. And this way a wave can be transmitted. For example, the air, a solid, the water have these properties, and so the sound can move in these means, solids, liquids and air. But for the electromagnetic wave, science currently says that these characteristics are not needed, but they have to explain us how we have this back and forth shape of the electromagnetic waves. So it is clear that the aether is needed, and with the aether we can justify the particle nature of the light, because let's consider, for example, the photoelectric effect. This is a phenomenon that led Einstein to the Nobel Prize, because he studied this phenomenon, and this phenomenon happens when a light with sufficient energy is hitting the surface of a metal, and the electrons are pushed away by this energetic beam of light. This happens because the wave moves all the particles of the hetherons, is like a Mexican ola. The particles moves around its equilibrium position. The following hetherons makes the same, the following one the same, so one after the other creates the wave, but is a motion of particles. So when the last aetheron near the surface of the metal is put in vibration, if the energy is enough, it hits an electron that is pushed away. And this is the explanation that pushes away, that eliminates all the quantum physics, because in a classical way we can explain how the light behaves in two different ways. When the light is behaving like a wave, it is because it is a wave moving in the ether. When it behaves like a particle, it is because the wave is formed by particles moving, vibrating around its equilibrium position. So we can explain how radiations move in the empty space. Thank you for following me also in this video. Sorry for my bad English. Bye bye. See you in the next video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, do it now if you want. Ciao.